Hello. Today I'll be discussing my understanding of what it means to be old and what it means to be disabled. My perception of old has changed over the years. I distinctly remember me in my 20s thinking anyone over the age of 40 is old. Well, here comes karma. And my perception has changed a little bit. My gray hair says that I'm old or getting old. And on paper, it says I'm getting old. But nah, honestly, I feel like I'm somewhere in my mid 30s. In, in all seriousness, though, I am a part of that population that believes that one is as old as they feel. So there's that. Um, Being disabled shares the same concept, in my opinion, as well. And like being old, the concept derives from my personal experience. My mother has lost feelings and growth in her left arm since the age of 18. It is a medical mystery that to this day we don't know what that's all about. She grew up in Jamaica and there was no real way of diagnosing, and still just one of those things that happen. But if I did not tell you that about my mom, and upon meeting her, you would never know. On paper, she is disabled, and the appearance of her left arm screams disability. However, the way she maneuvers herself and the strength she shifts from the left to the right arm, what she would have had in the left to the right arm, is nothing short of remarkable. So, I guess my point is having a disability or getting older does not necessarily equates to being disabled or old. There are many examples worldwide of people with disabilities that are not disabled, and I'll go over a few of that in a few. But like anything else, time changes, and at some point, my feeling younger will catch up to me and what it says on paper, and things will slow down a bit, and my mom's disability will get um, the better of her at some point. Now, I understand that my understanding may differ from another person that is of a younger generation. They may believe that would happen based on, I believe that would happen based upon their perception. It is hard for a younger generation not to view the 50s and over as old because I once did that, so I get it. Um, I've also found that the younger generation, as far as a culture, they seems to overcome disabilities or want to overcome disabilities. They try very hard and they try to make a difference, and that I will go over at length even more with my examples. So, as far as culture, there seems to be a greater difference with the aging system. For example, the citizens of Switzerland, they don't experience the things that we do until the age of 76. So, certain illnesses that we will experience at the age of 65, they don't experience that to the age of 66. So, they are at a greater advantage age wise than we are um, in Switzerland. So, that I found that to be very interesting. So, what I find is that the longer particular culture live, that gauges their perception of age. So the younger generation in Switzerland is not worried about 50 being old at all, 60 being old at all, because they know that on a wider basis, they're not going to start experiencing most things until the age of 76. So that's amazing. Um, both both my parents, they live together and they share one disability with my mom's disability. They're in their 70s and they care for each other quite well. And a plan is in place for when they're not probably declined and not able to do so well. And the plan is in place and will be shared between my sister and I, that I would assume responsibility for their medical needs, like doctor's visits, because I'm more on the medical side of life with my profession and everything. So that was allotted to me. And my sister's an attorney and good at paperwork, and I am horrible at that. So she's decided and agreed to take on their business responsibilities, like their finances and everything that would give me a headache. And so there's that. And it is important for us that family does this, the caregiving, because we believe that we would be their biggest advocate. The definition to me of family is comprised not only of blood, although blood relation is definitely family for us, but also the love you find along the way and the bonds that you make on a different level with someone else that can incorporate into a family real quick. My life has mostly been affected by my mother's disability. She has inadvertently taught me the life lesson of pushing past hindrances, anything that can slow you down. I've watched her all my life, never feeling sorry for herself or defining her being by what she's not able to do. Other references I've been able to find. Um, there's this one young man called Zach Taylor, diagnosed with cerebral palsy from an early age. He became, in 2019, a member of the Morton Police Department at the age of 42 to assist with crowd control. And there's another reference, the truck driver called Jimmy. A truck driver called Jimmy Artis. Yes, Jimmy Artis, missing his left arm after he lost it after being diagnosed with cancer at age 6. And also another reference is the CDC that addressed the issue of disabilities by encouraging, what they suggest is to encourage and include people with disability into everyday life and activities. They suggest you do this, you treat them normally and you try to include them as much as possible into society. And I chose these three references, to cite these three because they kind of touch home with me. I can relate to the missing arm truck driver that overcome all odds. I was also touched by the 42-year-old that became a part of the police department, his ability to push past and still dream, and the CDC getting involved and making suggestions as what we can do. So that was very touching to me. Throughout this course, I have learned many things, and the way I feel as a society that we can do better in addressing social and healthcare needs of the disabled specifically would be to just let them be. Disabled and aging people, they want to be treated normally. Now, there's a concept. They want to be asked where they may need help instead of us assuming that we have to do things for them, because that's disabling them by doing things for them. So the concept still holds true. Instead of providing someone with fish. You teach them how to fish so that they can do for themselves and continue doing for themselves. So that's how I feel about that. Thank you.